from where we are to the new Earth. And it basically is a heaven on earth scenario for everyone. And it's just simple. We create the new once we all come together visibly, we break the matrix. That's it, in a nutshell.
And yeah, I think that's what it all comes down to is just us all coming together at one time with that intention. We'll break the matrix and make everything happen. So we're excited to have you here. Thanks for being here. And yeah, we're gonna all kick ass at this.
That's,
So somebody step on up. Don't make me pick nobody.
Hey
I
everyone.
can go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Dylan.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I am Dylan King, and I represent the International Revolutionary Party. And
Fantastic.
essentially, the goal that I have is the same exact goal as y'all, obviously. What I have done, one of the things that I've done is I've highly detailed a plan to change the world. It's extremely, extremely detailed. New education syllabus, new infrastructure, new governments, everything you could possibly think of is totally planned out for us. You know, all we have to do is start doing it now, is get ourselves organized and get it under the belt and start doing it. You know, we got to start taking action together. Obviously, we talk too much, in my opinion.
Well, I think a lot of people have been coming to terms with what it is that we exactly have to do and getting to this place where they realize we got to build something else because they ain't nobody else going to do it. So,
Yeah, I
but
mean, this
I,
system is too corrupt for us to infiltrate and to change. You know, I
yes,
figured that out the hard way. I tried very deeply,
yep,
and I've been
yep.
falsely imprisoned 18 times now.
Good Lord. How are you
Yeah, it's
out
really
now then?
crazy. And so I'm fighting hard personally. You know, I'm trying
Yeah.
everything I can to get these things going in the right direction. So hopefully we can move together soon.
Yep. Well, we appreciate all that and the work you do, and we'll see how we can all work together to pull all of our dreams into existence. I like it.
Amen.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
How about you, vaping bitch?
Hey everybody. Vaping
Hey.
bitch, call me Mojo. I am an activist. I'm a farmer. I'm also a researcher in regenerative development and permaculture.
Awesome.
Um, my big thing is operations and organization. Currently, I volunteer for two organizations, GSUS and RIC. I run the social media for an entire bioregion and like based around Oregon. And GSUS is a national movement across the US with over 112,000 people. Uh, Numbers aside, all that aside, what am I here to do? What would I like to do with Aquarius Collective? What would I like to do with the world? Um, I'd like to create resources and mapping for intentional communities through my networks and the wonderful people in this group to create, sort of like a resource map for intentional communities for every person in any city across the US. Whether you get fired, whether you don't want to pay rent anymore, whether you want to live your life and work as a hobby, you can live on you can live in an intentional community and do that living on a land trust. And I would love everyone to be able to have that. You know, there's so much fear, there's so much confusion, there's so much chaos, there's so much anger and frustration for various reasons. You know, people are not happy with what's going on. Capitalism is failing. It was set up to fail. And, people are learning the way to go back to their land and, really follow their spirit. So, there's over 300,000 of us, and we're only hoping to get more. And what I want to push everybody to, what we want to push to do is we want to basically move everyone out of capitalism and move them into regenerative communities where you still have your phone, you still have your rights, you still have everything. It's not
Mm-hmm.
a fucking cult or a commune or anything. It's just you understand how to, a space for you to heal, a space for you to learn how to live life the way it was intended for us. You know, the earth is an ancient god, and we have fucked with that way too much in ways that we shouldn't, speaking as a scientist, right? And we need to and we're not happy. we
No.
consume way too much. We're not happy. We're not fulfilled. I can't remember the last time I've had a genuine conversation with someone I've met outside in this society, right? So, like, these are the
Yeah.
types of groups I like talking with and stuff like that. So, with that being said, help us get there. Let's all put our hands together. Let's do this, you know?
Absolutely. And thank you for what you've been doing. I've seen you pretty active. The GSUS that she's talking about is General Strike US. They've actually got a site, generalstrikeus.com. And then I hadn't heard of the other. I wrote it down, RAC. I hadn't heard of that organization, Mojo, but I'll be looking into them too. So, um, yeah, we're gonna start reaching out to all the different ones, and that's great that you've got the actual community organizing experience that you do. So, I'm gonna try to ping you a little more frequently just to, learn what I can from what you're doing. I've got another friend of mine, excuse me, that runs a tech nonprofit, and he actually does trainings and stuff, and runs some trainings for some of the bigger organizations that are worldwide. So he's going to be chiming in a little bit. He just wasn't able to make it to this. So we've got a couple of people that are going to be good for that. But yeah, community organizing is definitely going to be a big thing. Organizing in general is going to be a big thing. So, all right, who's up next? Jay, you want to say hey right quick?
Yeah, g'day. I'm Jay. I am involved with the Zeitgeist movement. I've been assisting the mod team over there for quite some time now. Also, Humania, which is Ziad, who's just arrived. I've involved myself with those guys a little bit, and I have my own project called Cathartic Curiosity, and that's my interests are like majorly psychology. So that's the extent to which I'm helping Humania. I'm helping a little bit with media stuff as well. I've got a great interest in media, music production, all that sort of stuff. But have we got an echo somewhere? Can we?
Yeah, I think somebody doesn't have their. There we go.
Yeah.
I think it was Bram.
We
Yeah, I
get a
think we're
few
good
mute.
now. Yeah,
Right, cool.
he's muted now.
So yeah, psychology. That's a major part of Humania. If it's an eco village, I'll let Zed tell you about that if he's still around, or if he maybe just left.
I think he might be trying to get in.
Right.
I know he went out.
So getting an eco village to work, I think, at a material level is one thing, but at a psychological level is a completely different thing. We've been what Vapenbitch was saying is spot on. Capitalism is a culture. Our culture is derived from our economy, and we've been conditioned our entire lives into a culture of competition. When it should be cooperation. And to undo a lifetime of that kind of conditioning is a massive psychology project in and of itself, just for one person, let alone a whole world of people. So once we've got the ball rolling, once we've got a few generations into the new way of conditioning, things will be so much easier. But just getting over this initial speed hump of getting people out of the capitalism mindset and into something different is, I think, the most important thing that we have to consider here. So that's why the interest in psychology. So I've got a book out. I've got a mind map, a 3D interactive mind map that Ziad helped me create. And I'm working on the material to sort of put out there in a media sense to sort of just get people to start thinking a bit more deeply. Totally on board with helping other orgs and getting dirty with this sort of stuff. Fun fact, I resigned my job on Monday. And I don't have a plan. So I'm just feeling it out for a little while. I can survive for a while, but I'm not going to rush into anything. I'm going to consider my options, and that's kind of why I've got the time to sort of drop in here.
Right on. Well, we're glad that you did, and we're glad for what you bring to the table. Zeitgeist movement was actually one of the first, I guess, encounters I really had with this world. It was kind of introduced me to it all way back when the first one came out. So it's really good to see somebody from the Zeitgeist movement here
Yep.
doing
And
a
they're
thing.
not much anymore, really. They're sort of middling along there, but
Yeah.
it's still a great place to connect with some of the
Yeah.
old schoolers. So yeah,
And there's a lot of people. They've got some pretty good numbers too. So
that's right. They never disappear completely, so all the oldies keep coming back occasionally to check in. So it's good. Yeah. Anyway, great to meet you all, and happy to be here.
absolutely glad to have you here. Thanks. Will we get everybody?
Bram, does Bram want to?
Not Bram. Yeah.
Hey, Bram, you want to introduce yourself? Or is Bram listening? Bram, Earth the Bram. I'm trying to set us up another Zoom meeting because this one's going to run out of time on us. Unfortunately.
If you want, Alex, I can set up a Zoom and send out.
Currently unable to talk. Sorry. Message from Bram in the chat.
Oh,
Okay.
cool. Yeah, Alex, I've got an unlimited account, so if you want, I can open the Zoom and send you the links
Do you?
to everyone else.
Yeah, you want to do that for us right quick? I think we got about five more minutes over here. So
yeah, Zoom now. I don't know if it works. It's the same in the US, but it tends to make you wait 10 minutes now before you can open a new one.
I figured it would probably do something like that. Yeah, if you can set us up another one, that'd be great, gentlemen.
Cool.
Really quick. I wanted to know how we could all connect. Do we all use Discord? Do we all use some platform that we can communicate on?
Well, that was going to be one of the biggest topics that I wanted to talk about, Mojo, because one of the things that I think that we need, and he's not able to be here for this meeting, but I did a interview with him earlier this week. His name is escaping me. Michael Plishke has got a platform called Communivate. And it's a little bit older. He's working on a newer version of it that they're calling Solidarity, but it is a central communications platform that is intended to support grassroots movements on a micro level with individual movements, but also on a macro level, which allows all those smaller units to be able to collaborate collectively on big, global actions that can be taken. So with all the different platforms that there are out there between Discord and Slack and all these other places, we're fragmented. We're fragmented and splintered, and we have no strength because everybody's not together on the same thing, getting the same message, which is important because this has to go almost like a political campaign. I mean, we've got to issue talking points and create a tide of energy digitally and otherwise that's going to help shift the tide for us. And that's the way I see it happening. So I see us needing a central communications platform where that's like the official place. That's where we get if it came from there, it's truth. So what do you guys all think about that? Do you kind of agree that that's what it should be? Because then it comes down to just picking a platform, and we can all jump over on Communivate and give it some time and just bat it around a little bit and see if we all like it and want to use it. I don't really have a problem with Discord, except that it was built for capitalism, and it's already been around long enough to be tainted by all kinds of other things. I think that we would probably serve ourselves well by getting something that's brand new that we can all use. So I'm open to thoughts on that. Whatever you guys think.
I pretty much agree with your sentiment.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Utilize the platforms we've got, but after that, we have to change it, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to let you guys know, I've just popped a Zoom link in the chat box. So
Okay.
as soon as this drops out, I'll open it and you'll just be able to join that one. because it's going to end in a couple of minutes. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting into a bit more detail of the other projects here and stuff, and again talking about the capitalism and stuff like that and that model, and obviously what the new is going to be, because we know where we're going. It's just a case of obviously consciousness shifting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're all, I'm sure, 100% aligned. So it's exciting, and actually just by collaborating as we are, putting the groups together, it's just going to be monumentous, because that's been actually the main hindrance as far as I've been witnessing with the global people's monetary system, is that we have the platform which, if all of the awakening people around the world just saw it and got with it and didn't get hung up on words, terms, or just details or their own project and align themselves with it, we would have like millions of people, I'm sure, already showing on there, which would actually create a massive shift in consciousness energetically. I know it would. So but I mean, it's not about any one project. It's about all of the projects that come together. It's about all of the expertise within all of the people. So with the Venus project, it's amazing seeing obviously the architecture and designs and all the work there, as well as obviously what the Zeitgeist has been doing just generally. I mean, that was my first experience, I think, probably, in terms of starting to go down the rabbit holes and all that. So yeah, it's amazing.
All right, I'm trying to get Ziad in. I say we go ahead and go over to the other Zoom meeting, so that
Cool.
Okay.
because
I'll just leave.
I don't know if we'll be able to get this chat window later. So
Cool.
Come on, Ziad, catch up. And we're back.
Sweet.
Thanks for setting that up so quick, Donovan. Appreciate that.
No worries.
So yeah, I think everybody's in alignment on that. So have we got everybody back in here yet? Yeah, pretty much everybody, I think. Okay. Well, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, would it be possible? I mean, I don't know how much. I mean, have all of the guys here seen the video that we talked about with GPMS at all? Do they have a bit more of an idea of what that is? Because the idea with GPMS obviously is to pull all of the groups together, all of the people together in unity. So democratically, the change and the transfer of power from the centralised governments is passed back to the people without any opposition once we reach a majority worldwide. That's in essence what it is. So of course, a lot of people at this point, as Joe was saying, they may not even consider what we can have and what we're worth, because they just can't see us making the kind of change that is absolutely possible. And that's why it's crucial to get like literally the people aligned with it. And of course, we know 4 billion people across the planet are below the line of poverty, and we are in 149 countries. We've got teams now in Africa, Asia. In fact, most of the numbers are coming from Philippines at the moment and India. And we've got people in villages going out and getting the names of people without internet and stuff like that to give their pledge, their agreement, and their alignment to the plan. So that's in essence what will create a rapid shift in consciousness energetically on an individual level. People giving their agreement, it raises their vibration, of course, and then returning to the site and seeing the numbers growing raises the vibration on both the micro and the macro level. But then, of course, as we pull the experts together, the people that have been working on their own projects, then again, it helps us obviously implement the new system very quickly and seamlessly. But it all comes through gaining access to all of the resources upon the planet, so we can redistribute everything and recreate everything unlimitedly without any hindrance on money supply or anything like that. It is a very big plan, and obviously, again, that's one of the reasons why it's a bit of a challenge for some people to get their head around it upon looking at it the first time, or because a lot of people will just look at it and think, oh, it's just too big a move. It's just not plausible. But
Yeah.
of course, that's mainly, I would say, a lot more of the Stephen people. We're getting obviously through to a lot of people. We have tried to reach out to obviously massive influencers, like, you know, people that have got, like, you know, a big platform, whether it's like, you know, Russell Brand or David Icke or Max Egan and those people, because obviously they're talking about uniting and getting all the people together, and they've got huge followings. I mean, if you look at their followings, I mean, there's millions of people there, right, which are very much in their awakening process of some sort. But yet those people haven't yet aligned, and that's possibly because we just don't have the numbers that match even their own following yet. So they're not taking our platform fully seriously yet. They're waiting for the numbers to grow a bit, perhaps before they align.
Quick thing, Donovan. I think I wanted to chime in. When you move from hundreds of thousands to millions to tens of millions, the ideas begin to expand as well. What I'm trying to get at is, instead of us focusing as we are the leader of X movement and we want to do X thing, right? We are a group of people doing X project to bring X people to what? To bring X people to where? To bring X people to why? How? Working in regenerative systems, there's two things. One thing that Jay brought up, and one thing that you brought up. One thing is multi-generational trauma. There is reasons in capital as to why you don't get along with someone maybe 5 or 10 years older than you, or younger than you, like in most cases. The other thing is resource allocation and sharing. I would love to work with you, Donovan, to provide the framework that works in harmony with people, planet, and all living things, to basically give them the fair share to where they can live, provide for themselves completely sufficiently.
Yeah.
It's my passion.
I urge you to check out that link tree that I provided for y'all, because that has, like I said, the plans laid out in heavy detail, and that's exactly the goal of it, obviously. Also, the councils, similar to what you're talking about, the breakdown for the project, etc., to bring us where the councils are. That's their direct path. That's the goal for the councils, is to unify each person that wants to take on this project under this council to do these specific things, you know, and
Right.
they're all broken down into their different aspects of society.
I love that. It's sociocratic, right?
Precisely.
Wonderful. Yeah, we really need to all work together. This is really exciting. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Yeah.
put you a note in there to leave your link tree if you would, Dylan, because this is a different chat. So just want to make sure everybody is able to get that.
Yeah,
So,
I just went and dropped my information again, so y'all can go grab that.
And see, that's one of the things that I've got to figure out my messaging about, to make sure that it's. I don't always phrase things politically correct or properly. Sometimes I'm a bit gruff and rough around the edges. So, but yeah, I mean, this is really a place where, you know, we set egos aside and all that, because it's just getting everybody together. That's my only mission, is to bring everybody together, because I believe that if everybody comes together, we will already have the numbers we need to exact the kind of change that we want to exact. It's just getting everybody pulled into the same space. So, and you know, everybody, I had a detailed plan. I mean, I could spit it out to you right now with the elevator pitch. So everybody has a plan. So what I was thinking about, what's been just kind of tickling my brain a little bit, is seeing if we couldn't find an AI person who could create us an AI chatbot that we could start training to learn all the organizations that are coming into our thing, and also to be able to go through all the plans that everybody has, so that Dylan's stuff's valid, the stuff from GPMS is valid, the stuff from General Strike US, everybody's is validated, and run through like an AI thing to summarize it, pull all the ideas together into one. Because to think that we're going to go forward and not have AI involved in this somehow is short-sighted. Go ahead,
Amen.
What you
Just
got,
so
Dylan?
you know, that is exactly what I've been doing with my plans. I've been taking the collective plans from every platform and just putting them all together, you know, to unify them the best I can.
Yep.
And I agree completely about AI.
Yeah,
Cool.
the only thing I say is let's don't get too specific, because that doesn't allow us to change course if we need to, and none of us know what the future holds. So you had your hand up, Denver. What you got, buddy?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, there's one of the sort of, one of the quite sort of, let's just say, well experienced members with AI, well, within GPMS, who has been working with the AI and what have you, and he could probably, I can see if I can get him along,
Yeah.
and start sort of something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Um,
great, because it would be great if we could go ahead and get something. Because I mean, I know a little bit about it and I use it some. I know that it's, if you know what you're doing, it's not that bad to go ahead and go set up your own little system with your own chat bot that learns your stuff. So, it should be something that's realistic to do, and we can go ahead and be training an AI chatbot to help us, because that's going to be the big thing that we're up against is information. There's too much information now. It's like everybody's got a plan. Yeah, everybody's got a plan. I've got a plan. He's got a plan. He's got a plan. Everybody's got a plan. We need to, and they all align with each other. Everybody that I've talked to in any group, they all align. So it's just a matter of getting everybody together in the right place, and then I really think it's possible that it's going to work out to where all these different flavors are perfect. It's what we need is all these different ideas that have the same fundamental ideas, and it's going to be kind of like capitalism, because you can go pick from all these different varieties of it.
yeah. I mean, well, the
So
thing is basically, I mean, again, very much the way that the Zeitgeist and Venus Project and have been talking about is obviously the future is a resource-based economy as opposed to capitalism. But that obviously is a big. I mean, there's a lot of people that are still very attached to capitalism
mhm.
because that's all they've ever known, and they think as well. Even when we talk about creating a world where you have absolute equality and everything else, they think of communism, which of course they kind of can't detach away from the centralized governance, which is obviously what creates that, and they also the ability for some to have more than others. When you actually activate the intrinsic value of every soul upon the planet to be absolutely what it is, which is equal and infinite to the next. And people again, when this is why you have to get the people with a free will choice to actually create it together as well. There is that element in it. Can't be forced upon people. Nothing can. And this is what even with the Zeitgeist and the Venus Project. There's people that are very much in their awakening process, and they're all about freedom. They see this advanced cities and technology, which is obviously where we're at the space now where it is moving forward, but that scares them. And of course, they see the relationship between that and say smart cities and think, oh no, that's the WEF, that's the United Nations, and all the rest of it.
Yep.
So these are where we've got challenges because of just the different levels of consciousness. And there's obviously so many people that are in their awakening process that are engaging with bits of information, but they don't dig deep enough to sort of really embody it and sort of really understand where things are going and what these different projects are all about really fully.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I agree entirely, Donovan. And this is part of the reason I designed the economy I've designed the way that I have. It's going to give us all that option, extreme options at that, because you can participate in the economy in the way that you can, or you can own separate from it, or we're like Vaping Bitch said, we can have communes and things along those lines where people work for each other and so on. They don't have to be a part of that system. And obviously we have to get all of that going in the same direction. So y'all should definitely check out the economy. That's definitely one of the most important things. It's infinite funding without taxation, human resources back, obviously, and we have infinite resources. So
Well,
we have a transition plan for all of that as far as that goes, to keep the capitalists involved, to get them involved, to make them want to be a part of it.
That's good. That's good. We need all those little things.
Yeah, I was quite interested to hear a little bit more from Vaping Bitch about what you're doing there and your kind of idea in terms of where you sort of see things going in terms of actually trying to create something inside of or alongside of the current system, because obviously the way that we see it is that, I mean, we're creating something new that is ultimately just going to completely replace the old. Ultimately, there's obviously the projects that are ongoing now, and that many people are coming together and they're doing their own communes at the moment, which is obviously already part of that process, because obviously it's shifting consciousness. More people are obviously entertaining the idea of being able to obviously join those communes and are, and they're talking about it, and so it's all part of the ultimate goal where we're going anyway with it in terms of shifting everyone and everything. Because actually the true choice for everyone is to have actually what we're ultimately seeing the world to be, where everything is a completely free world, really. I mean, where you can have unparalleled abundance. People obviously do work, but they just work a lot less, because obviously you've got the technology that's doing a lot more of the work, and people are just collaborating, contributing to what's essential, and just being more creative with their time, which just allows so much to open up when there's no limitation on funding anymore, there's no financial conflicts anymore, we don't have these pointless polluting industries that people are wasting
I'll
their time
tell you
on.
something, Donovan and Dylan. I there's something that I really love about this space. It's almost like everyone's really excited and contributing. I know it's not just me, like I feel it when I come in this space. It's very respective. Really egos are shedded at the door. I don't care really who you are, where you come from. I see all of you as you're talking, and that's my favorite part. It feels like we're all bits of a brain kind of coming together. And if I could answer Donovan's question, I think I would say that, and also piece in like Dylan's contributions as well, with his like knowledge of sociocracy. What the world would look like if everyone's manifestations were to be, practiced and everyone were to, if everyone received abundance, if everything received self-love, acceptance, harmony, everyone knows the wheel of things that we love as humans. If it would be wonderful, and it would completely shatter the idea of what they thought it looks like. If you ask for money, you ask for money to provide you things that money buys, right? It's a currency, it's an exchange.
Right.
If you replace the idea with money and you peel away at that, at the layers, you truly begin to understand, well, really in life, all I want to do is sit around and play ukulele, for example, right? If you ask for $1 million, if you ask for that freeing number, I want to sit around and do what I want forever. And that is what life is. And that's why I do what I do, because that's what we do. We love life. If
Yes.
for
Yes.
$1 million, in my mind, that's freeing number. Just sit around and play ukulele today. So if we could just peel away at all that bullshit and just give them the ukulele,
Right.
You're giving them their dream, right? So answering Donovan's question, we know one another. Communities of people. We are well connected and well aware. We're actually look at each other. I miss that. I don't see that anymore. There are concepts such as paradox. And if you make a society too big, people action with the earth, each other, the land, it's very well spelled out. It's very intuitive for people to pick up because it's very fucking true.
Yep.
The world would look like a walkable sort of area. You could travel, you could, do stuff. It's not a big commune where you're cut off from your family or anything. It's just sensible. Why do we have drinking water in our toilets? That shouldn't be a thing, but it is. Why do we have 40% of our food going into the trash. That's stupid, but that's a thing. Why aren't we composting it and turning it into biochar, fertilizer, something like that? You know, there's so many things that just don't make sense, that just create unnecessary, excessive waste. In a world where we have everything that we want, truly, we just begin to make sense as a species and really know our place on this planet because we've overstepped it so many times for no reason at all. Absolutely none.
I agree with you 100%. One of the big things that I've got in my head is how anti-efficient our system is now. And I think that by any measure of what we can create a system that is efficient to a degree that just renders the old system almost obsolete. I mean, none of us know exactly what this is going to look like. But I mean, if you've got this
That's
streamlined
regenerative
system,
system.
okay, that's regenerative system. Okay.
Yeah, everyone research it, look into it. And you know, I'd love to look at Dylan's ideas because I feel like he's touching on it a little bit. And I'm gonna learn more about it. But regenerative systems is everything I've been talking about is based in regenerative. There's a way in which you make work for everyone, everywhere. You have to localize it.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
yeah. So one of the things about the smaller things is I imagine most of y'all are familiar with Dunbar's number, which is like 150, and it's basically how many people.
I love you. Yes, I know
Uh,
Dunbar's number. I studied it.
yeah, it's well,
Yeah.
then you could probably explain it better than I can, but it's basically the number of relationships that we can have in our life and
150.
keep up with them. It's 150. So the idea is going
Yes.
forward that we have a central backbone that does everything, and AI, much like Zeitgeist movie talked about, and Peter Joseph is, you know, the AI handles all the decisions and mundane BS that is where all our money gets lost now in the political system. Cuts out all those middlemen and just handles shit like it should be handled, and we're able to have our little nodes or whatever you want to call them that are a little bit below 150, maybe around 100, to make it easy and so that you can have relationships outside of your bubble with other bubbles, you know, as needs to be done. But yeah, I love all that, and that's just kind of how I see things working, just taking over basically because of our efficiency. We can run this shit so much better than what they're doing because it's all based on profit. It's not based on efficiency, it's based on making profit. So if we cut that out of it, then we have a system that works like a champ.
Yeah. I mean, we've got all of the solutions there. Like, there's so many solutions that have
Oh
been
yeah,
out there for a long time, but there's the ones that obviously can't come into being because there's not short-term profit available to those people that would invest in them, and also the conflicts of interest that come and arise because they, terminate the need for the fossil fuel industry, for example. So it's yeah. So that's why again, yeah, this is the people's intervention to create it, obviously. And but what I'm very conscious about, and I've connected with like orphanages in Africa, so I'm seeing like poverty at its greatest, with these people that I'm these beautiful souls I connect with, and you see it obviously again at that level how fulfilled that they are still, with their level of existence. They just want obviously to be free of the disease and everything else. And of course, they're still being educated along the lines of capitalism and stuff like that. So they still are going to need to go through a process of seeing that direction is not the travel where it's not the direction of travel we want to go in anyway. But it's just the fact that obviously every single day, now the numbers are growing in terms of how many children are dying a day of starvation and stuff like that. So again, our solution with global people's monetary system is appealing to us, and we've got more and more people that are constantly joining us that are actually like kind of on social media talking about GPMS, into all of the groups, dropping it and all the rest of it. We've got people obviously talking about it offline because we need to basically work. I want to basically just reduce the level of harm that's happening to the people as quickly as possible. All of us that are really sort of driving GPMS are of that mindset. And the quickest way that we can heal people in every way, shape, or form is by relieving the stress and obviously the lack, and creating that that instant level of comfort, so that everyone has a home, they have quality water, food, energy, clothing, and they and have the education and are free to start to contribute, as they wish, as well. So yeah, it's something that we do have a perspective, because obviously we're also very much connected to is the energetic side of things as well. A lot of us that are sort of promoting GPMS, we kind of as I'm sure everyone here is obviously quite connected in themselves with nature and with the spiritual side of things. Everything being energy, frequency, and vibration, there is a lot that's occurring with consciousness at the moment. And so obviously different people we meet and connect with have had their own sort of divine experiences that are giving them heightened insight into certain aspects of reality, which obviously, again, a lot of people can't relate to because they haven't maybe had their own experiences yet. But that doesn't mean it's not occurring for a lot more people constantly all the time. So again, this is where literally what we're talking about in terms of a massive shift in consciousness worldwide can potentially just suddenly happen in a blink of an eye. Yeah. Because the change that's occurring at the moment worldwide in the consciousness is just, we're in a flashpoint of what some would describe as the ascension at this point. The ascension of people, in terms of actually returning to that mindset of oneness and where we really need to be going back to, because that's our true nature, actually. So it's difficult to see it, and we're seeing obviously through the mainstream all of this very much 3D kind of material world constantly just being there trying to hold on to everything, and there's many people that are obviously caught up in that, and they're holding on to the old politics and all the rest of it, centralized governance and all that sort of stuff. But again, at the same time, you've got even the World Economic Forum and United Nations. I mean, they are shutting capitalism down. Even if you just look at it from the logic that it's impossible for the capitalism as we've known it to continue, where they're trying to meet net zero goals by 2050 or whatever it is, or 2030, 2035. You can't have free enterprise, people opening up any old business, because it's going to create pollution and waste that actually creates carbon, which will actually go against their goals. So people only need to start to recognize that, who, in themselves, who are basically holding on to capitalism, to realize that actually, well, so what kind of capitalism is going to continue to exist? It's just going to be the big corporations anyway for a time, isn't it? That are just basically, it's communism, and it's all centralized, and then people are just, do you see what I mean? So things are occurring very, very quickly, and I think that in the next few years we're going to see massive shifts beyond our imagination, actually. Anyway,
I think we probably will this year. I think we're going to start seeing stuff this year with the election coming up and everything else. That's one of the big things that I've had my focus on energetically, is just trying to get enough people together so that maybe we can counteract all the fucked up energy that's going on, with the election in America. And I know, Americans are what we are and whatnot, but we do have a pretty big influence on the world. So what goes on our soil does matter. So, our election is going to affect the whole world, and how it plays out over the next 5 months is going to be real curious to see. But I'm really wanting to go hard between now and then so that we can get as many people as we can, just energetically acting as a counterforce against all the negative energy that's out there. So check this out. I'm on the way to go pick my daughter up. I'm just going to turn my camera off, but I'm going to stay on the call. But I'm going to be driving because I want to go get her. I miss her. So, So cool. Give me just a minute to get readjusted here, and y'all can discuss whatever.
So I'll take the mic for a second, if you don't mind. Go ahead. Just a couple of notes I've been making.
Oh, Jay. Oh, sorry.
You're all right. I'm just gonna throw in there a couple of